Alan Smith here, and right next to me here we have one of our 3 hydroblast machines. Our hydroblaster is the way that we prep the interior pool finish to get the new finish to stick to it properly and to remove the old plaster, pebble, or quartz finish. A hydroblast machine basically is a very high technology water removal system that doesn't create dust. It creates a very rough surface profile for the new product to adhere to, and does not do any shell trauma as this traditional stripping method would do to a pool shell. A high-tech machine, 40,000 PSI, incredible piece of equipment, but that's what you get with our company. You get the best of everything, and of course, and the right crew that knows how to use this efficiently. Thank you. Hi, Alan Smith here, and what I have in my hand are what we call directional flows or eyeball fittings. And these are the fittings that come inside of spas and pools where the water inlet comes in, and they have a little set screw that actually allows to change the direction of the water going into the spa or pool for all the different reasons you would want that. We have a lot of different colors. We have quite a stock here that we keep on hand. And when these do go in, our crew comes in, or we call our seal crew. They install these, and then they waterproof around them to make sure that when the pebble or plaster comes up, there isn't a gap or a seal problem, and to make sure, because this is a place where a lot of pools will leak after a pool finish is done. It's always good to have these things sealed or waterproofed at least a day before the plaster job to allow shrinkage of the material. But these are what the eyeball fittings look like. They come in a lot of different shapes and sizes, and just sort of some of our stock here. This is what's called an eyeball extension. If you have a traditional eyeball already in the pool that's in good shape, and you're putting a new finish on, and maybe a different color, you want to have another eyeball. Well, rather than taking this whole housing out of the pool itself, which could be very intrusive, there's what's called an extension, which actually screws in and brings it out a little bit farther and changes the color without having to do the demo on the whole thing. Now, this is a product that Dave Huberts, our general manager, and myself, we invented, and Aquastar makes it for us now as an eyeball extender. Works really clean, it's nice, it threads right in, changes the look, and keeps the housing in there without all the demo. So very often when you're resurfacing your pool or spa, the lights that fit into the light niche, they go into a preset ring or a screw set to hold them in place. And very often with the new lights, they either don't fit or the old mounting is broken. And so these are aftermarket light rings. They're made out of brass that go in and have to be put into the pool before plastering. And they have to be grounded because they're metal. So we have a grounding screw spot on both of these and have to be grounded back into the shell of the pool. Very important if these are put in, they're grounded. These are offered by Alan Smith Pools on our remodels when necessary. And we have a complete stock of these, as you can see. Okay, here we have at Alan Smith Pool offices what we call our steel structural staples. They're made out of very heavy steel stock and bar, and they're made to structurally repair broken pools that are cracking. And they basically come in different sizes. We manufacture these ourselves. We actually invented these. And they bridge the steel rebar to keep it from spreading out, and they get inserted into the structural part of the pool. And we have several different sizes for depending on the type of repair and however many of these need to go in to properly re-secure the pool surface. These are our steel staples. They're very beefy. They're made by us. We actually invented these. And another reason to go with us is because we provide the right type of product for the right type of repair. We have what's called a channel drain. This goes down at the bottom of a pool or spa where you have your suction or your main drain. And it's basically made to distribute the suction over this big long area, so there's no way a child or a human could get held down on it by a suction entrapment. This is an aftermarket product. Most cities allow this, some cities don't. Some cities want the main drains actually split to 2. Other ones allow this to be put on and save the cost of the split. They sit flush to the surface of the pool finish, and they come in a lot of different colors to match up nicely. Great product, great idea, and also extremely safe for your pool. Hi, Alan Smith here, and here I'm standing in front of a pallet or a stock of our polyethylene plastic masking material. So very often when you're doing a pool remodel or any type of remodel of your house, cleanup and protection is so vitally important to maintain the cleanliness of the property. We spread plastic around the pools when we're doing our pool finishes to kind of help protect the environment from overspray, splatter, things like that, and just leave a lot cleaner environment. And as you can see, masking and taping off and putting this down is part of our jobs in every pool that we do. You can see the experience you're going to get is to keep your job site clean. Hi, Alan Smith here, and what I'm showing you right here is a roll of what we call expansion foam. Expansion foam is a styrofoam product, closed cell, that goes between the back of your coping and the deck to create a buffer, or what's an expansion joint, so the deck doesn't touch the hard set coping on top of the bottom beam of the pool. It allows it a cushion so it doesn't push it off the edge and crack it. After it's installed and the deck's in, the top tears away and allows the area for the mastic or the rubbery sealant to seal between the coping and the deck. So it gets put in place prior to the deck being poured. Then after everything's done, the top is pulled away and a mastic joint's put on the top. I'm over here in our commercial tile division, and we do a lot of commercial pools here, HOA pools, apartments, hotels, resort pools, and there's specific products in the tile division for that. Some of those are the trim tile, or the tile that goes on the edge of the steps and benches, the lane tiles, the brake tiles, a specific non-slip tile, and they come in a multitude of colors. Most of the colors we do put in though are black or blue. And then we have our depth tiles. They come in different kinds. They come in obviously in a lot of different numbers because of the depths, but they also come smooth and sanded. The sanded ones actually go up on the deck, so you can see from the deck how deep it is, and it's non-slip, and also like the no running, no diving signs, and of course we keep those all in stock here specifically for the commercial market. Here I'm at our stock, Alan Smith Pool stock of DecoSeal. Swimming pool remodels, the majority of the pools we do, the DecoSeal, or the sealant around between the deck and the coping, is worn, and so we replace an awful lot of that product throughout the year. It comes in cans, different sizes for different amounts that we're going to do, and it also comes in different colors. The primary colors that are made by the DecoSeal company is tan and gray to match your deck colors. We actually combined these two colors and came up with a color called limestone, which is our primary color we use now that seems to match the deck colors better. We actually, DecoSeal made that specifically for us, and but those are the colors. Here's the product, and we put it on most of our jobs. Whether you build a pool new or a remodel, between the coping and the deck, you'll notice there's a rubbery product or a sealant that's put in there to bridge over the expansion joint and to have some flexibility. Normally it looks like a rubber, either tan or gray color to match the existing environment of cement, stone, or coping. Very often you can make it look better, like what we do is we actually can use different colors to match it better, and we actually sprinkle sand on the top of it so it looks more like a natural grout joint and not so synthetic. It's there to seal the coping to the deck, so when there's movement it stretches and doesn't crack or tear like or break away like a hard grout joint would. You need to have expandability there, so we use this mastic joint, or this caulking, self-leveling caulking, has different colors, and then we sand it on the top to make it look more environmentally friendly to the surrounding products that are on the pool area. So it's a product should be done, and every time it's you have an expansion. So here we are at the tile stock room at Alan Smith Pools, and right here we have this is called our overstock area. We have a lot of extra tile. Very often a customer will change their mind on once they ordered a tile, we have the leftover tile, we don't return it, or we bought some stuff that was discontinued but still very nice tile, and or potentially we over ordered a little bit on some jobs, but either way we have a lot of it here, and some of there's enough to actually do a pool. And so if you're a customer right now that we're doing work for, and you can come in and pick from one of these, there will be a reduction in the price, obviously, because we can sell a little bit less money. But it's our overstock area, and we're going through it pretty quick. They're all nice tiles, and here for your choosing. Come and see. So here I am in the cement and aggregate warehouse at Alan Smith Pools. And right here on this pallet, we have a little bit of leftover from a job, and these are the two basic ingredients that pool plaster is made out of. Pool plaster is basically white cement and white marble, crushed marble, and that's what makes pool plaster. The white cement is used in all the other finishes too, whether it's pebble or quartz, but that's the primary ingredient that holds the aggregate together. And if it's white, you just leave it that way. If it's pigmented, you actually add dyes and colorants to it and pigments to get it there. But for pool plaster, it's basically marble and white cement mixed together. The pool finish warehouse, where we have all the different pool finishes and additives, right here is a box of a pozzolan that we use. A pozzolan is a modifier that goes into each batch of any type of pool finish we put in. It's a pozzolan, which actually helps strengthen the cement. It fills in the microstructures and properties with a metakaolin clay or silica fume, and it's combined. There's several different brands that we use. This one happens to be Wet Edge. It's called Pebble Edge, and it just helps hold the stone together in place. Just a lot of benefits to these products, and we buy it by the pallet load. And we use one brand or another in every single mix design that we do. Very beneficial. So Alan Smith here at our warehouse that holds all of our different pool finishes. And here I have several pallets of a product we call a pozzolan. Now pozzolan is a very fine powder we put into all our different mixes. And it basically changes the cement from it's like a glue that holds the aggregate together, and it makes it from like a regular glue to a super glue. It holds it tight, very strong, and fills in all the gaps and microstructures within the cement, and really makes it a much stronger, better product. So every time you get a pool finish, you always want to make sure that you have a pozzolan in your material. In my hands, I have two ingredients that go in some of our pebble designs and our mixes. I've got black stone that comes off the beaches of Baja, and some glass aggregate in multicolors. And what we do at the job site is we come in, we actually mix those together in a mixer, and we have this wonderful, beautiful rock combination. And we mix it on site, and then we mix it with the white cement, which is the glue that holds it together, and water. It all gets put together, and then we put a pigment in, and you have this beautiful design of rock and glass at the surface. And we do that on the job sites. We custom make a lot of different colors as far as from our different manufacturers that we represent. And beautiful, that's how it's made. Rock, different colors with cement as a binder, with a pozzolan and a pigment. And when you're done, you put microglass to hold the color. Okay, Alan Smith here, and I'm in our pool plaster, pool surfaces warehouse. And I just want to go over with you some of the ingredients and things we put in to our pool finishes. Well, let's just start with, we have all these different accent rocks for our exposed aggregate finishes. We have tan rock, as you can see, we have it in different sizes and gradations. You can see the warehouse is full of a lot of different products. We have black, Again, different sizes for different applications and looks and feels. We have white stone. Those combinations can be at any percentage you want. And then we have accent stones. This is glass. This is an iridescent glass we can mix in as an accent to get that vibrant look to it and that pop. We also have abalone shell. These are crushed little pieces of abalone shell that give that bling or that sparkle to your water when the sun hits it or the lights at night. And then of course we have our pozzolans, which are what changes the cement from like regular cement or the glue that holds the rock together to a super glue. Extremely good product, very important to put in. And we have our pigments, or the colors that we can add, all the different colors of the cement to go from white to gray, dark gray, black, light blue, medium blue, pastels. This is a pigment pack of dry black pigment, and they get put in by batching. And then we have a liquid. It's a midnight blue liquid, and it comes in liquids and in powders. When the job is finished and the pool finish is done, there is one other product we like to put on that we think is probably the best technology in the pool industry, and this is called microglass. It's a spray-on liquid that goes on any type of pool finish and actually turns the cement into almost like ceramic. With all these other great ingredients, it's good to protect the cement and all the rock around it with this product. Might even double to triple life expectancy of your pool finish. But there's a few of the products we offer and we install. A little education on that. A lot goes into these.
That's great.
Okay, Alan Smith here at our recycle area, and what I have here is an old pool heater and an old pool pump. And I want to tell you about why we replace these things so often. They do wear out, but also these older pool pumps and heaters, a lot of them are made out of brass and copper, and you can see they're kind of a blue-green color. And very often you'll see a blue-green discharge color or stain inside of your pool finish. And that comes from the acids in the water actually corroding and eating these metals, either the heat exchanger in the manifolds or the pump housings if they're metal, and leaving that blue-green color discharge. Even a super high volume can strip it, especially if you have copper plumbing, and put that blue-green color into your pool. But that does wear thin and wears them out, and eventually they start to leak and have all their issues. But this is a really good example of the discoloration you see in your pool and where it comes from.
All right, I'm good.
Okay. Alan Smith here again. I'm in our recycle area. You have a bin full of old swimming pool lights. And we take the old lights off for a couple of reasons. Number one, this is an old incandescent, not very energy efficient, and we replace them with the new LEDs and just save a ton of energy. But also you can see here there's a water line. This light's full of water inside. Where in the back there's a gasket that goes around where these gaskets dry out or they start to shrink and they get water in them. If you did replaster a pool and leave this light in the pool, that gasket very likely can dry out and eventually start to leak again when the pool is left empty for a while during the remodel process. So we highly recommend that you replace your lights. At this time, it's a good time to put an energy efficient LED in and get rid of that water in there, and it's also a lot safer. So that's what it looks like when water gets in there, because these gaskets dry out. It's not if but when, and it's a good time to replace.